Good morning, Facebook peeps. I have to ask you something really crazy today. Do you have money issues? This is Kim White with the My Sexy Business team. And let me just tell you, let me just be honest, I have had some serious money issues in my lifetime. I came from, I guess you can call them the projects. I came from when I was little, my mom was on welfare and we didn't have enough money to survive most of the time. I know that my grandparents helped, and I know that there were lots of things that people gave us. And it was it was really a yucky spot to be in. I will tell you another thing. When I got a little older, I was going to repeat the cycle. I didn't end up on welfare, but I did end up, being so broke. I was so without money that I worried all the time how I was going to feed my kids, how I was going to make it, to the point that I actually ended up homeless with my two babies. I'm only telling you all this so that you understand where I came from. I put my babies to bed, and some of you already know this story, but it was a very life-changing moment for me. I put my babies to bed on cardboard boxes on the concrete floor of a warehouse because we didn't have anywhere to go. I sat there and I watched my babies sleeping, actually content because they weren't stressing about it. I was. I got myself so worked up that I didn't know what I was going to do. So I was trying my best to figure out life. I had never been taught about money. I had never known how to handle money. Every time I'd get, $10, it would be gone by that day because we always had so much lack and so much need in our life. Well, fast forward, I've got a house full of boys trying to feed them. And I'm going to tell you, I worried and I worried and I worried. Just true confession. What happens if I run out of food? What happens if I can't feed them? What happens if the electric gets turned off? Because it did a few times. What happens if, and you fill in the blank of what you're worrying about. But let me just tell you what I realized. I realized not only was I creating that momentum in my life, I was creating more and more lack in my life because I was focusing on not having enough. I was focusing on the debt I had. I was focusing on, just the fear of not being able to feed my kids. It's a horrible feeling. It's a horrible feeling. And I want you to know, if you're going through that, I get you. I understand. But I made a decision one day that I would no longer focus on that. I would focus on abundance, and I would, make my list of my bills. I would have them either automatically paid or I would write something on my calendar to pay it, but I wouldn't think about it all the time. I would think about ways to make money, to bring value to other people's lives so that I became more abundant. Now, I'd like to tell you that I did that 3 times and my life was changed. I became a millionaire, but that's not reality. Reality was it took a while. I had to commit to that change of focus. I had to commit to not worrying. I had to commit to and practice focusing on the victory, on the abundance, on the, prosperity that surrounded my family. And it's so funny because it didn't take very long for things to shift. And it started inside me, but it also started around me because all of a sudden, instead of getting, cut off notices and just not having enough, it's like all of a sudden things started going way better for my family. And I'd like to say that, we learned how to trade time for money. We learned how to, get a better job. But it wasn't that. It was really from the inside out. We started figuring out, that our source of income was not a job. Our source of income was not limited to a job. It was not limited to what we saw. And when we took our eyes off of the limits, I have to tell you, it's been crazy ever since. Now, there's been a lot of rough patches. There's been a lot of times where we've gotten to a new level and then went back to old ways of thinking, because it's work to keep your mind focused on the right things. But at 51, at this season of my life, it's ingrained now. It's ingrained, and I practice it every single day. When something comes at me, it's not the same, because I understand I'm going to win. I understand I'm going to prosper the rest of my life. Does that mean things won't cost me anything? Of course not. But I know that it's all handled. I know that it's all covered. And I know that every single day I bring value and I serve, and I don't have to worry about lack. I don't have to be in competition with anyone, because there's not lack. I don't have to, struggle and strain against life. I can do life with a song in my heart and real joy. I can enjoy the wealth that I have. I can enjoy the wealth of my relationships I have. I can enjoy the wealth of the finances I have. I can enjoy the wealth of the freedom I have. I can enjoy so many things that, had I not changed my mind back then, I don't believe I could be doing today. I was challenged or prompted this morning by Coach Glitter to tell everyone today what my mission is. And I can tell you, I am on a mission to help you create sexy businesses for sexy lives. That's just not a commercial. That's not just something that I say to look cool. I am on a mission for that, because you know what? I've been there where my business owned me, and I've been there where I didn't have enough money coming in, and I've been there where I didn't really want to get up out of bed because I didn't know how to fix any of that. So I'm going to challenge you today with this idea. It's free. That's the first thing. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to write a check for it. Change your mind. Start by changing your mind. Focus on winning. Focus on wealth. Focus on abundance. If you have to get something and put it in front of you, I can tell you at one point I had found a little bag of money in a magazine that I cut out and I put on my vision board, because I just wanted my mind to remember I didn't have lack. Even if it was a piece of paper that looked like a little sack of money, I still kept that in front of my mind. So I want you to do something today to change your mind, to shift your mind into believing that having wealth is possible. Not only is it possible, but it's for you. You deserve it. You're worth it. And no matter what decisions you've made before today, take today and forgive you, and then move on. I inflicted a lot of the problems I had in money on myself. Okay? That doesn't mean that I can't change it. And that's exactly what I've done. So my mission really is to help you create a sexy business for a sexy life. And to me, a sexy life is one of freedom. It's one of not worrying about money. It's one of not worrying about time and not worrying about relationships. That to me is a sexy life. What's a sexy life for you? Because when you get your little picture of the money that you want to receive, I want you to write down what it's going to feel like. Because when you start feeling that, it will change. And practice this. This is a messy Monday. This is our day we get to reset everything. I hope you accept this challenge, because I'm serious about it and we're here to help you. This is Kim White with the My Sexy Business team. Happy, wealthy, messy Monday. Love you guys.